How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping another video. Right, guys, as you can tell from the title of this video and the subsequent headline and stuff, this is about Britain's most squalid prison, HMP Liverpool, or Walton Jail as it's being called, as it's known locally. Right, obviously I'm from Manchester, Walton's in Liverpool, but it marks itself as a 21st century prison, which is absolutely ridiculous, guys. More reminiscent of Dickensian England, to be honest, the squalid conditions there, inhumane conditions and stuff like that. Now, this latest report has come from Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons. Easy for me to say. Right, guys, so I've got 3 pages here of things that I've bullet pointed, right? So 1 drone is seized every week from the jail, right? Now, drones have been attributed to have delivered over £1.2 million worth of drugs and mobile phones, right, in the last, well, since drones started, to be honest. Just put that into perspective, guys. £1.2 million, right? That's street level. That's street money, yeah, 1.2. Right, so if you put that into prison figures, yeah, you're talking 3-4 times that, because obviously, for those that don't know, when you're in prison and stuff, things go for 2, 3, 4, 5 times it, depending on how much drugs are in the prison, how many mobile phones are readily available to buy and stuff like that. Like I say, if you're the only person with the drug on the wing, you can charge a premium. If there's loads of drugs on the wing, which is normally the case, then you can't charge a premium because people will undercut you and stuff. But £1.2 million drones have been attributed to have delivered of drugs and mobile phones to prison. So like I say, that's going to be obviously 5-6 times that easy in prison. Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons branded the prison squalid. It's a Cat B prison, guys, holding 1,115 inmates, right? The governor was replaced last year, was removed from the post because of the squalid conditions. It wasn't up to scratch. Like I say, it's a breach of the prisoners' human rights, squalid conditions. It's not acceptable, guys, in any which way. It's absolutely, it's below contempt. 2/3 of prisoners said drugs were readily available and easy to buy. 4 prisoners have taken their life since the last inspection, and 2 more suspected suicides since the latest visit, right? Just put that into perspective, guys. 4 prisoners have taken their own lives since the last inspection, and 2 more suspected suicides since the latest visit, right? There's a lot to be said, guys, right? One of the inspectors for Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons, right, who I've got to sing their praises, guys. They're doing a great job at the moment. They go around the prisons, they inspect the cleanliness of the prisons, how prisoners are treated, they speak to the prisoners and stuff like that. Now, like I say, the prison and the Ministry of Justice tried to keep a lid on what actually goes on within prison, but they was alarmed that a clearly mentally ill prisoner was in his cell with no furniture at all, no TV, and was obviously in a stressed out state, and it just wasn't right and stuff. But he said, the inspector said, it shouldn't be down for him to highlight this to the prison staff. They should have already been aware, and they was very worried about the state of mind of this prisoner and stuff. Like I say, guys, for many people, prisons are doubling up as mental health units, guys. It's as simple as that. Prison officers are not mentally health trained, neither are the nurses, they're just nurses. So like I say, it's just disgusting, guys, to be honest. But 4 prisoners have taken their lives since the last inspection, and 2 more suspected suicide since the latest visit, right? Absolutely just shocking at best and alarming. Many cells had broken windows with dangerous jagged glass. Right, now, if you're contemplating suicide, right, and there's many ways you can commit suicide. Obviously, you can string up and everything else. Obviously, God bless anyone who's taken their lives in prison. I hate the idea that someone would leave prison in a body bag. It absolutely shocks me. But if you're like mentally unwell, or if you self-harm regularly or something like that, you want to swap the emotional pain for physical pain. There's jagged glass there in your cell window so that you can slash up, which is absolutely ridiculous. All provisions should be in place to make sure that prisoner safety is paramount. Unfortunately for prisoners, the authorities and the Ministry of Justice don't give a shit about us. There's damp, you've got leaks, you've got broken and blocked toilets or broken sanitation. Like I say, and the thing is, they're going unfixed, guys, right? Maintenance within prisons are not the best. And like I say, the fact that prisoners are having to defecate and urinate in broken toilets and blocked toilets, guys, is absolutely disgusting. Again, It's below contempt. It's a breach of their human rights, and it's wrong on so many levels. But sadly, it goes on that way. Like I say, you're locked up in long. So just imagine you're in a cell. It's a small cell. You might be in a single cell if you're single cell restriction, or you might be padded up with someone, right? And you're having to piss and defecate into a toilet that's blocked and could be blocked for weeks. And then you resort to prisoners putting their hand down the U-bend, shoving the shit down the U-bend. It's as simple as that, guys. I can't dress that up. Communal areas are in a decrepit state and significant problem with rats and cockroaches throughout the prison. Now, the Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons and stuff, they've obviously seen that this is their reflection, right, of what's going on within that prison. Now, if you watch this video, guys, and you have got someone that is in Walton prison, or HMP Liverpool, as it's officially known, please get, if they've got mobile phones, try and get stories out, contact the media, get videos, get pictures, and scream from the rooftops, guys. Like I say, prisoners shouldn't be suffering immeasurably whilst in prison with these squalid conditions and stuff. Like I say, this is Majesty's Inspector of Prisons. They've obviously seen rats and they've seen cockroaches throughout the prison as well. And like I say, decrepit state, communal areas. Violence of all kinds has increased, with assaults on staff tripling since 2015. Right now, obviously, I've got to balance it. Right, there's a lot of decent prison officers out there that do a great job. One of the prison officer spokesmen, actually, the POA spokesman, Prison Officers Association spokesman, a guy called Mark Fairhurst, an absolute muppet who thinks that prisoners should be shackled and stuff like that. So it should be locked up 23 hours a day, and we should be shackled like slaves in some, like, from the 1800s or something. It's beyond words and stuff. And like I say, you don't see the prison officers running to the media, do you, telling them about these decrepit conditions and stuff and the state of the jail? No, because they don't care, guys. They don't care about prisoners. They don't care about the well-being, the mentality, the emotional side of things. They just don't care about prisoners, full stop, whether it's like psychologically, physically, or the conditions that they live in and stuff, which again have been branded squalid. Magistrates Inspector at Prisons were highly experienced and don't recall having seen worse living conditions than those at HMP Liverpool. Now, these guys, some of these people are in the 50s, 60s and stuff like that. They go around prisons on a weekly basis, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, right? They go to different prisons, they speak to the inmates with their own eyes and stuff. They take in, they're always jotting down stuff. The Majesty's Inspector at Prisons, guys, right, great thing for prisoners, because like I say, it highlights what's actually going on within the prison system. Like I say, so they're doing a fantastic job, and kudos to those for doing such a great job. And like I say, they don't having, but just put that into perspective, guys. Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons were highly experienced, right? They've been doing this for years and decades, yeah, and don't recall having seen worse living conditions than those at HMP Liverpool, right? Leave that there, speaks for itself. Many cells are not fit for purpose and should be decommissioned. Like I say, if you've got broken windows and you've got broken observation, like for those that don't know, in your cell door, you've got an observation hatch, which is a thin glass, very thin glass thingy, and it's for the screws when they're night clocky or they're doing roll count. They'll pop your cell, they'll pop your like window to your cell, and they'll look in. And then they'll look through the observation hatch and stuff. And like I say, the cells should be decommissioned. But the thing is, they're not decommissioned. So prisoners are living in these fucking broken, squalid, broken sanitation, broken windows. Have you seen the weather outside, right? I don't know if you can hear the wind behind me. It's absolutely freezing, right? And prisoners are in cells with broken glass on the window and on the cell door and stuff, and it's and like I say, the breeze is coming through, guys, right? Rats seen on a regular basis, right? Just rats. Do you know what I'm saying? Rats, mate. Absolute disgusting. I can't even tell you guys how annoyed I am at this report and stuff. Like I say, the fact is, yeah, the last report at the back end of last year, the governor was removed from post. This new governor's come in, and there's a parody account on Twitter that's stating that prisoners are happy with the conditions within the prison and stuff. Now, that's absolute nonsense. Look at this report, guys. Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons report. These people go around and they inspect prisons, right? The cleanliness, that they speak to the prisoners, they speak to the staff, they see with their own eyes what goes on within prison, right? The Ministry of Justice can't keep a lid on these. The Ministry of Justice would love Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons not to exist, but the fact is they do a fantastic job. I'm assuming they get paid. I don't know if it's volunteer basis or get paid. I'd love to do that job myself as a former prisoner, because like I say, prisoners shouldn't be entering the prison system is broken, right? And the people that enter the system are as broken as the system itself, right? Like I say, prisoners are not on the agenda, are they? They're not on the radar. Nobody cares about us guys, right? It's as simple as that. Now, like I say, prisons should be placed. People that are from the right side of the tracks are going to come out with the old adage of you can't do the crime, don't do the time. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Things like that, right? Which is ridiculous, guys. It's very short and knee-jerk reaction, right? These people obviously don't know what goes on in prison. A lot of people that end up in prison are from deprived backgrounds. They've grown up in care. They've been sexually abused, sexually assaulted. The mother or fathers could have been addicts or like abusers of substances like drugs or like alcohol. Mental health is hereditary and stuff. It gets passed down. There's lots of different factors at play, guys, or why to people in prison. We all have a choice, right or wrong. Yes, we do know right from wrong, but the fact is we're disenfranchised and stuff, right? And we don't have a stake in society. And people go out and they commit crime and they get caught and they go to prison, right? Now, prison shouldn't be. Prisons are not about punishment. The punishment of prison is losing your liberty, losing your freedom, right? Once we get over that, guys, we need to be addressing the reasons why people are committing crime and stuff like that. And like I say, if you put a disenfranchised person in a prison like HMP Liverpool with these squalid conditions and stuff, do you think it's going to aid rehabilitation? Do you think it's going to aid reform and rehabilitation? Absolutely not, no. And like I say, but prisoners are off the radar. Like I say, we're off the government's agenda. There's just been another Justice Secretary, David Gauke, who's just been announced after David Liddington, who was absolutely useless, got moved on when Theresa May had this reshuffle in her cabinet and stuff like that. The fact is, guys, right, they pass the like Justice Secretary, they just passed the title round. Michael Spur, who's the top dog in the MOJ, he said that these are unacceptable. The guy doesn't care about prisoners, guys. Absolutely not. These middle-class people, guys, that are in charge of the government, right, that have never experienced crime, have grown up in millionaire families, right, and they've never experienced crime, and they read about crime in the newspaper. Doesn't make them... They're so out of touch with what normal people, working-class people are like, right? Now, they're ruling the roost over criminals. Now, they're obviously millionaires and snobby, and the self-loathing and stuff, and they look after themselves and stuff, right? And like I say, their attitude is throw away the key, lock them up and throw away the key, right? Like I say, reoffending, guys, is costing the taxpayer 9.5 to 13.5 billion pounds annually, right? And like I say, when you treat prisoners like they're treated in HMP Liverpool in these squalid conditions and stuff, and these inhumane conditions that are reminiscent of Dickensian England, it's not going to aid rehabilitation, is it? No, it's not. It's going to make the problem worse. And with fewer police on the streets, guys, prison should be the last line of defence and stuff. Look at Liverpool there. There was a story yesterday. They need to cut another £18 million to policing by, I think it's 2020. £18 million, right? That's police stations, that's frontline policing. That means that it's going to be a green light for criminals to commit crimes across the board, and the police are going to be powerless to stop it. Community police stations are closing down on a rate of knots. The youth that are growing up are running feral. Prisoners are becoming feral. Look at the way they're treating and stuff inside prison. Like I say, the mentality of the government and stuff is all wrong for rehabilitation and reform to take place, right? They should be speaking to prisoners individually. When it comes to rehabilitation and these courses and stuff, one size doesn't fit all, guys, right? Every prisoner is unique, right? And every prisoner's they need tailor-made action plans and stuff about sentencing plans, about how to tackle their obstacles, right? Some people are dyslexic, some people have got severe anger problems, some people have got problems with addiction, and they just throw this one size fits all, do the course, and you don't want to do the course, and OMU don't want to put you through the course, but it's about ticking a box, because if you want to get your HDC, for those that don't know, HDC is home detention curfew, or you want to get your CAT review, or you put in for it to be moved, you've got to play ball. And if you don't, by playing ball, what I mean, you've got to tick the box. You've got to stay out of trouble. You've got to keep your nose clean from trouble and violence. You can't be taking drugs, because if you piss on a VDT positive or a mandatory drugs test and stuff, that'll go against you. And you've got to do these courses. You've got to show that you're playing ball. So you do the course that you don't really want to do to tick a box. They don't want to put you through the course. But again, it's about ticking a box. It's about ticking that box, simple. But like I say, the prison system's broken, guys. The Ministry of Justice don't give a shit about prisoners and about prisoners' well-being. Prisoners with mental health problems should be dealt with by psychiatrists and should be dealt with and put in mental psychological units and stuff where they can get the help and thing that they need. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it here, guys. I've waffled on for 15 and a half minutes, guys. Great thank you to you all. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. I'll put the link in the description below so you can read at your own leisure and just have a look at this damning report, guys, from a Magistrates Inspector of Prisons. Right, guys, God bless you all. Speak to you soon. Cody, guys, out. Bye.